Multi-story office buildings? Why not an industrial? Two-story industrial buildings have been done throughout the nation, and I've actually seen it in Canada. Some of my friends that are Canadian brokers have shared some of the product up there. What's interesting is I haven't really seen it in Orlando until recently. And so that's what this episode of Beyond Your Space Needs is going to be dedicated to. Hi, I'm Amy Calandrino, and I'm founder and CEO of Beyond Commercials. So, as we go into the third quarter of 2023, the industrial landscape in Orlando is witnessing some trends with respect to two-story buildings. And so we have started to see that happening more often, and that's because it allows businesses to expand their operations vertically, and it's taking advantage of limited land resources in some areas. According to the Orlando Chamber of Commerce, there's been a 15% increase in the number of building permits issued for two-story industrial structures compared to last year. This is indicative of perhaps the growing preference and I would say economies of scale that you would see by having multi-story designs. There's also the recent report by the Orlando Economic Research Institute that highlights that many industries start as tech startups, e-commerce, creative studios have increased the demand for two-story buildings. And we've seen actually a 20% growth in leasing those spaces in comparison to the previous quarter. So, again, I think there are a few factors that are contributing to this. One would be limited land availability. Again, I talked about economies of scale, so we have cost efficiency. Going upward is often more cost effective than going horizontally. And so given land cost, it will provide sufficient space for operations without having to acquire more land. And also the zoning regulations have now been updated to encourage vertical development. So this has created an increased interest in two-story buildings, aligning with the city's vision for more urban forward growth. And so what's cool too is I think aesthetically and collaboratively, it provides more options. So I know I had a research tech company a few years ago, and they were in a really tall, like flex industrial development. They were able to put some of their offices above the floor, and it was just really cool to see that synergy. And obviously that was just more of like a retrofit in making it work. If you've actually designed that to create that to happen, how much cooler that would be, because I know that it took a lot of engineering work to retrofit a building that wasn't meant to be two stories to have that more elaborate mezzanine or quasi second floor. So I think also as far as environmentally, it helps to minimize the utilization of our resources in our land and helping to preserve more natural spaces. And so I just thought this was super cool. I have been wanting to talk about this probably at least 2 or 3 years now. And I think the first article I saw about it was either right before COVID or right after. So definitely 2020. And so what are your thoughts? So we're starting to see that in Orlando. Are you seeing that in other areas of the country? I'd love to see what you'd have to say.